Once you have already researched your cloud migration plan and you feel good about action steps, sometimes you are still stuck because you don't have proper buy-in from your organization. So in order to get buy-in from your organization, the first most important part is to diagnose the heart of resistance. So why is it that people are not interested in migrating their workloads to the cloud? In our cloud management survey, we had about 47% of respondents report that migrating to the cloud is only low to mid priority for their leadership team. So diagnosing exactly why that is the case, or maybe the case for your company, is definitely the first piece of being able to gain some support from leadership in terms of time, money, resources, etc., to really kick off the migration process.
Typically, when we talk about buy-in, we think it is buy-in from your manager, maybe your manager's manager, and somebody further up the organization chart. But that is a good place to start. It's always good to secure that sort of a buy-in. But the challenge is usually that any sort of cloud migration journey impacts a whole host of teams. So as you engage with these different teams, as you have these conversations with the different teams, always try to record, one, what are their challenges today? And as you have those conversations, always try to respond with how can you, by migrating to the cloud, address these challenges? And be realistic, obviously, about this whole thing. So eventually, as you come up with a roadmap, as you come out with a timeline and probably the necessary asks of budgets and so on, be sure to secure this buy-in, not just from your manager, but also peer managers as you kind of work through this process. So there's that entire management team buy-in that you'd have to address. And typically that's around the macro challenges of budgets and cost and timelines and things of that kind.
How can you get buy-in to migrate to the cloud? I think that's a big issue for companies today, especially across different industries where they might not be as technologically progressive, or digital transformation isn't a top priority, or maybe they don't understand it. I think you've got cultural issues there as far as how they really see initiatives around technology versus focusing more on the product or the customer experience. One big thing you can do there, though, is educating everybody on how that all is a holistic issue and very much tied together. The stronger your technology, the stronger your product, the better your customer experience. And when you pair that sort of best-in-class technology goal with best-in-class customer experience and things like that, that's when you'll start to really see customer success and market success. So, you know, really illustrating the business value of cloud migration, I think is going to go a long way to gaining buy-in. I think it's also important to note that a lot of companies' cloud migration projects have been accelerated this year so as to enable suddenly remote workforces. So to some degree, I think we're going to see a lot of companies have kind of forced migration, and you're probably going to come up with some resistance to continue because it may not have been done in the best way possible because you had to rush it.
Once you are able to figure out exactly what is holding leadership back from wanting to go ahead with cloud migration, it's important to come with support and a plan. So this migration plan is a part of it, but migrating your infrastructure is not something that you can do by yourself as an individual. A lot of times it's not even something that one specific team can do because cloud management should really be throughout the entire organization instead of siloed onto a specific team. So make sure you come with support, other people who are invested in the success of your migration plan, who may be able to help you either gain that leadership approval or help you with the actual technical implementation and process of the migration. So both are equally important. Another way to gain support is to build a POC with really anything that you have a current bottleneck with. So the best way to show the benefits of cloud migration is to actually build out any sort of proof of concept that can demonstrate your point. So for example, if you're lacking a software development lifecycle methodology, maybe build something out like a pipeline to show how quickly you can deploy code with a pipeline. Also, you can build out a return on investment to show the metrics and cost savings that are possible with a full cloud migration. Really, the only way to guarantee support is to show hardcore proof, just like in most things in life. And that's totally possible. Thanks to AWS and Azure, building out a POC on a smaller scale is something that you can probably do in a couple weeks, and ultimately will help you to gain a lot of support and even excitement about the potential that your cloud migration can have on the impact of the full company's business functionality, efficiency, ability to deploy code faster, make changes for your customers.
But also, as you kind of secure your buy-in, you have to understand that the developers, the testing folks, the architects, the security, the compliance, the production support teams also need to be included. So while you have these conversations, remember to have the conversation with the individual contributors, but also have conversations with the concerned first line, second line management teams as well, because you're going to get a very, very different perspective from both of those areas. And as you attempt to secure the buy-in, understand that things like timelines, the technology stacks, the ask, the knowledge, the experience might be lacking. And so you might have to have certain kind of conversations as you start this journey. So there's this whole buy-in that you'd have to address, not just from the management side of the house, but also the individual contributors from the development, testing, production support, and so on teams. Now, it is also important that as you work through these challenges, you're going to find out that these challenges don't magically go away once you start your journey. You're going to have to realize and adjust as you go through this journey. So for example, having lunch and learn sessions over a period of time, having chapters that bring together folks who are trying to address similar challenges, also to build champions within your teams as you try to find a way to distribute the knowledge and experience is going to become critical. So again, there is no simple solution to this challenge, but these are some of the ways that we've found and assisted our clients in securing the necessary buy-in and starting and executing a successful migration journey to the cloud.
It's important to allow leadership and people who are stakeholders in this to see and get excited about the cost savings, get excited about the potential of self-healing environments, no more calls in the middle of the night for you to fix something that's down. So really just making sure that you can figure out exactly why people are hesitant to migrate, and then use that as a reason, show proof why that doesn't actually, their concern doesn't need to be as big of a concern as they think it does. And in fact, their concern is overshadowed by the benefits of the cloud. And then you have proof. And once you are able to deliver those things to leadership, it is pretty difficult for someone to deny the positive effects that a migration can have on your business.